Luke and Alex want to know, basically they're asking, could increased production from Uzbekistan and Mongolia grenade the thesis?
No. As of now, no. Mongolia, I think it's an extremely long shot that any pounds will come out of Mongolia and not end up in Russia or China. That's not to say that that won't be counted as supply when it is eventually producing, which I believe that it will. But are those pounds going to end up in Paris? Highly, highly unlikely, in my estimation. So is it a thesis killer? No. At this point, no. If all of a sudden we see that they're producing 20 million pounds a year, I don't even think that's possible. You know, we actually have Mongolia ISR modeled in our model to be producing by 2030 with a reasonable amount of uranium that's already factored into our model. As far as Uzbekistan goes, they're kind of like a Kazakhstan light, but they have nowhere near the quality or the size of the deposits of Kazakhstan. So prior to last year, they were expecting to double their production from around 10 million pounds a year to about 20 million pounds a year by 2030. Last year, they revised that guidance down to a 50% growth out to 2030. And just recently, there was some articles. There was an article that was published, I think it was actually in Reuters, that claimed that they had already produced, gosh, the numbers off the top of my head, but they claimed that they had produced last year this massive jump in production. We had to do some digging. We found that that was not true. We found some actual numbers that came out from the country's own publications that look like they're basically in line to reach that 50% growth number. So we model about 15, 16 million pounds a year out of Uzbekistan by 2030. Right now, it's pushing maybe 11 or 12. They're going to continue to grow. Importantly, they are getting a little bit more disciplined with their supply. So rather than all of those pounds just going to a couple of traders who puke it out every month in the spot market, which has been historically relatively accurate, they are themselves, as a state-owned entity operator, engaging in some long-term contracting. So that's good to see, and being a little bit more disciplined about those pounds. Neither of those two things are thesis killers, but they're worth watching.